Throughout most of my streams and occasionally in the comments, I get asked what the best crop in the game is and what should I farm. Well, here I am to answer that today. I'll be ranking every crop, telling you why or why not you should farm it, and yeah, so make sure you stick around. The first crop is wheat, which is a C tier. You see, wheat has the farm for wheat is pretty quick to build, only taking roughly 5 hours. It's really just a modified version of my carrot farm. And it gives one of the most useful items in the game, a farming sack, which is invaluable for carrots, and you should always have one non-enchanted one in your inventory, because it stops the annoying replenish glitch. It's not amazing for XP or money, that's one of the downfalls, but the biggest one is the tier 3 hoe is a nightmare to build, and is basically impossible unless you're rich. The next crop, carrots, A tier. Carrots give pretty good money. I've learned that from doing all my tests. They give roughly 3+ million an hour. Not to mention, carrots, the farm, pretty quick to build at the same time as wheat, so roughly 5 hours. And carrots give carrot candies, which are very useful if you need to level up a pet fast. Not to mention, the prices of carrots will always spike whenever a pets update comes out. Now, the downfalls are, it's not amazing for XP, it's not garbage, it just doesn't compete with other crops. And for some reason, players, they absolutely hate pets with candies on them. It makes no sense. Who cares if there's a candy on it? It doesn't change the pet. So yeah, for that reason, A tier, but not too far off S tier. The next crop is pumpkins. I'll hold them in my heart for a long time because I've farmed way too many. B tier. Pumpkins, they give really good XP, giving the second best in the entire game. Their money is not too good. The farm takes 6 hours to build. But the best thing, they give rancher's boots, which I don't have equipped. Yeah, they give rancher's boots. These let you set a speed cap and serve as an upgraded farmer's boots. They are invaluable for farming most crops. Potatoes, I skipped over these by accident. Yeah, potatoes, they're a B tier, just under pumpkins. Potatoes, the farm, again, is pretty quick to build, taking roughly 5 hours, so that's good. Potatoes have pretty decent money. Some crops beat it out, but it's not garbage. And they give hot potato books, which are very useful on swords and that because it gives them extra stats. Now, for the disadvantages, Technoblade and Squid Kid absolutely crashed the economy. Potatoes are worth way less than they would normally be, just because they farmed 1 billion collectively, which would be absolutely insane wherever it's done. And they're not amazing for XP, still getting beaten out, but they're not awful either. And hot potato books are generally bought from Bazaar if you're a non-Iron Man player, and they're pretty cheap. Just to show you, 10 would be worth 360,000, so it's not worth farming them. Okay, next is melons. Melons, I'm going to put them at the bottom of B tier. You see, melons, they're probably the 3rd best crop in the game for XP. They were in a rivalry with pumpkins during the early days of Skylock. They're not so good nowadays. The money for these isn't amazing either, but the place where they really shine is melon minions. There's remnants of a melon minion farm, all the way at spawn on my island, and melon minions really help getting to farming 60, and they can also give you some pretty good mining levels too. Oh yeah, and the farm for them, pretty quick to build, roughly 6 to 7 hours based on how used to it you are. Oh yeah, one thing, the collection for melons, I don't know what the atoms were doing, but it's just empty. Look, farming XP, farming XP, farming XP, enchanted melon block, glistening melon, enchanted melon, farming XP, melon minion. It's empty. We need more stuff in the melon collection for it to be worth farming. since currently it doesn't really stand out, but it's not awful either. Mushrooms, A tier, behind carrots. You see, mushrooms, they can be the best in the game for money. Can be. They're not always the best, because sometimes Netherwort can beat them out, because the bazaar prices aren't consistent. The XP for them is actually surprisingly high. It's nothing absolutely crazy, but it's still there, and it's pretty good. And it gives early game players flight with mystical mushroom soups. Now, the downfalls are, this farm is an absolute pain to build. Like, I'm using mushroom minions down below my island to build a farm to get the gold medal, and then I'm never touching them again. Yeah, and like I said, the prices for these, they are never consistent, they fluctuate heavily, and the mystical mushroom soup isn't useful for players like me who have a boost cookie on 24/7. Cocoa beans? Cocoa beans, debatable where they should go. I think a B tier. B tier is heavily populated. Yeah, they're pretty good for money. They've fallen a little bit in recent times, but they're still not bad. And they give the replenish book, which makes a large amount of these crops even possible to farm. And I actually have, since the beginning of Skylock, had a cocoa bean minion. It's currently tier 11, down on my island. Why, you may ask? Yeah, these sadly have no pouch. I don't know why. It just makes the farms more difficult to build, and I didn't fully build mine. I just built enough to get a gold medal, then destroyed it, because there's no point in having it. The XP for these, it's underwhelming, not as quick as pretty much every other crop, and people don't normally farm cocoa beans to craft the replenish book unless they're on an Iron Man profile. They'll just buy it. Cactus, D tier. Yeah, cactus gets the bottom. It's the worst crop in the game. You cannot disagree. The XP for cactus, non-existent. It is garbage. The money, you basically don't get money. You'll probably lose money building the farm. The economy is crashed so low because of cactus farms basically breaking everything. And to top it all off, there's no pouch for these, so the farm is a pain to build. Just get a gold medal and abandon it. And we have 2 crops left, and ooh, these are good. Cane, S tier, top of S tier. Cane is absolutely crazy. It gives the most XP in the game. As a matter of fact, I was getting 1.2 million during 2 times XP. And looking at my streams, I got 100 million XP worth of cane in 5 days from just flat out farming. Their money is amazing, it is one of the best in the game, and they have a talisman line, which is good. These have very little disadvantages, but still disadvantages. Because it has no pouch, the farm takes 10-ish hours to build, which is probably the most of any farm. But, you know, cane, still absolutely cracked. And from one amazing crop to another, Netherwort, just behind it in S tier. Netherwort gives the most money of any crop in the game, by far. I think you can get over 5 mil an hour if you had a maxed out setup, which I am planning to do. They give a talisman line, which is incredibly useful. Well, it just boosts your potion limits, but it's still a talisman. And the farm for this takes 4 hours or less to build. It requires no water or no light, so it is amazing and easy to build. The 2 disadvantages are, this doesn't get farming XP. If I break one, I get alchemy XP, so you can't level up farming with these. And the leaderboards for all this, absolutely filled with botters. People had botted this so much back in the day when it made 7 million. So yeah, this is my final tier list. Let me know if you disagree with anything, because I think I got this one pretty good. Yeah, let me know what you think of certain positions, what you'd change, or if you disagree with my reasonings. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel, because I have more videos on the way. And remember, farmers, keep farming. I was 2 seconds off 10 minutes.